Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bad Guitars podcast. My name is Andrew, and as you can see, I am alone tonight. Kat is not feeling very well, so I'll just be doing this one solo because there was a lot of releases this past week and announcements leading up to NAMM. So I'll probably keep this one a little bit short. I'll try to at least. There's a lot of stuff to cover. But hopefully, back next week we'll be back up and running. I did put out a video today. What is today? Saturday, the 18th. So I did put out a video today about the Player 2 Telecaster, Fender Player 2 Telecaster that I just picked up this past week. So I hope you check that out, and if you like it, leave us a comment. Same usual stuff. But we should just get down to business. So I got 2 pages in my notebook today. Usually we have like a page, but this is a lot of stuff. A lot of gear news, a lot of speculation, some companies teasing some stuff. So we'll jump right in, and I don't even know where to start. All right, let's start with Marshall. So people have been noticing Marshall has been kind of phasing out the reissue lineup that they put out a year or 2 ago. So it's like the Shredmaster, the Classic Blues Breaker. I don't even know what else is in that lineup. There's like 4 or 5 different pedals. And they've been blowing those out at their dealers at a discounted price. So they put out it's like a 2-second long video on Instagram. The caption says, "A stomping new lineup is coming." And it's, very mysterious. It looks like 2, 4, at least 5 pedals in this lineup. They look like they're new enclosures. Doesn't look like they're anything like the ones that they're discontinuing. So, just speculation there. Nobody knows exactly what these are going to be. But I think it's been a while since Marshall has really put out anything like new and innovative. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. It could be, different amp in a box style pedals of their different, could be the super bass, super lead, the different 800s and stuff. It could be anything. So it's not a whole lot to talk about with that one because it's purely speculation, but I'm sure that's dropping at NAMM. Other news, AWOL pedals. They disappeared for a little bit, but he's back. So for those that don't know, AWOL is famous for making these I believe they're 1x1, 1.5 inch enclosures, little square ones that you would see like the JHS red button remote thing. They're about that size enclosure, and just one knob on the side. He has a filter, a fuzz. I don't remember what the other one is, like a buffer or something. So he disappeared for a while. He designed the 2 pedals that Pedal Train makes and sells. I believe they're like Tube Screamer style circuits. So he designed those for them. But then he's been kind of quiet for a long time, and he recently announced he was coming back, and this week he put out the announcement that he's fully back in business, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. This one's not new. Came out in December, I guess. This is a fairly new pedal company, though. This is the OC Pedal Co. And this is the Buena Park Boost. $120. Let's see. Vintage-inspired JFET preamp boost pedal that brings warmth, clarity, and sparkle to your guitar signal. Designed and hand-built in Southern California, this pedal is a nod to the rich history of Orange County's music scene, delivering timeless tones that suit any style. Even with the knob at its lowest setting, the Buena Park Boost adds subtle harmonics while turning it up gives you enough headroom to send an already dirty amp into overdrive. Cool little pedal, just one knob, a nice, almost like shell pink color. I dig it. That's a pretty cool one. I don't know enough about it yet. There's a few videos on Instagram, not a whole lot else. They might have a YouTube channel. Looks like they do repairs and stuff too. So pretty cool. Let's see what's on there about. It doesn't say anything about when they started the company or anything, but the website looks pretty professional. Jeff Schroeder, formerly of the Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, he did a review on it. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's move on. So we got the new Marshalls. Fjord Fuzz put out a new Univibe, but I believe I'm not entirely clear. I watched the video, but I don't remember exactly. This was earlier this week, or a couple days ago, really. They put out a new version of their Univibe called the Frey, I believe, or the Free. I don't know how to pronounce it. But this one is the prototype version. So the lead time on this is like 4 to 6 weeks. So these aren't shipping out to like February, probably. $199. But you have a slider and 2 knobs and the usual 2 foot switches that all their pedals have. Says Freya was the god of peace, love, and is also the name of my youngest son. Oh. The Freya prototype is a condensed interpretation of the Univibe, stripped down, raw, unfiltered, and geared for a new future of modulation. It gets wild. Huge thump, deep throb, and 3D swirl is all intact, and now it takes fuzz pedals better than ever. There's internal dip switches that allow for further exploration, giving you the possibility to choose between Univibe and Relzy sound. I think that's supposed to be saying, I don't know what Relzy tone is. I wonder if that's like a Leslie style thing. With this new operational transductance amplifier technology, it brings this classic effect into WorldPlay with all kinds of new and instrumental challenges. Okay, cool. So he did label this in his video, the future of Univibes. So this is without the photocell. So a lot of countries in Europe ban the photocells. We've talked about that on the show before. It's not necessarily the photocells themselves. It's the cadmium, I believe, that's in them. So that's pretty cool for $199. I mean, relatively similarly priced to his other stuff. But he did say in the release video he's moving on to more than just vibes and fuzzes moving forward. So it's cool seeing what he's going to put out. Now Boss has a new thing. Now I was under the impression this was something they already made, but I guess this is a new version of it. This is the Waza Tube Amp Expander Core. It looks like it's like an Oxbox style thing. As far as controls on the front panel, you have reactive load, combo, and stack are the 2 options there. Something that says input signal and peak with a little mini button that says write, press 2 seconds. I don't know if that's to make presets. Looks like you can program 10 selectable rigs. Something called air feel level. You get a headphone output on the front, a line out, and a speaker out. Let's see the back panel on this thing. You get XLR left and right outs. You have the cab output, speaker output, effects loop built into this thing, MIDI in, USB out. I'm going to say yes, this is like their answer to the Oxbox kind of thing. Let's see, it says there's only so much you can do with your tube amplifier in a low volume environment. Yeah, unless you have a Boss Waza Tube Expander Core. Of course, you got to have theirs. It uses their tube logic-driven attenuation, cutting-edge cabinet emulation to give you no-holds-barred access to your tube amp's full sonic potential. I don't know much about this. It looks like it's like an IR box. It has, it says 64 IR slots built into it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, essentially this is just their answer to the Oxbox. Not something I'm personally interested in, since I don't have a whole lot of tube amps to mess around with, or cabinets. But that's pretty cool. What's the price of this thing? $699. It's pretty rough. Yeah, you could probably buy 2 used decent tube amps for that price. Vox has a new wah coming out too. New for NAMM. It's the V863CA semi-auto wah. It's got 3 modes. It looks really nice. It's got that like hammered metal. Let's see, it combines classic manual wah functionality with 2 auto modes. So unlike traditional Ottawa pedals that often compromise tone, this uses a unique design that directly drives the pedal's inductor, preserving the iconic wah sound. The authentic Ottawa effects perfectly complement the pedal's manual wah capability. Now, how do you switch back and forth between the different modes? Let's see. Switching between manual and wah via the treadle in two innovative wah modes is simple. Envelope generator mode triggers the wah based on the attack of your signal, allowing for the dynamic expressive effects. Envelope follower mode reacts to your playing dynamics, creating smooth and synchronized wah effect. And then pedal mode offers traditional manual wah controlling the foot treadle, which is the standard way to use the effect. And then you have, okay, it's just 3 push buttons on the side. I thought they were like mini potentiometers, but no, it's the 3 buttons to switch between the modes. And then there is a polarity switch. Pretty cool. I think it's cool. Little update, you know. It's been a while since they put out a new. Okay, I'm looking for pricing. Just British pounds, 249. So I always estimate with the American dollars, it's a little bit closer to 300, about 275. So that's not terrible. I mean, it's pretty expensive compared to their lowest level, like $99 wah, but you get a lot more functionality. Right, what is next? Pigtronix. Let's jump on to Pigtronix next. So I think they're a bit of an odd brand. Not anything bad about them, but just their logo being a pig, everything's Pigtronix, you know. But all their pedals are like space themed. So I don't understand the branding, but they make really cool sounding stuff. So this is the Cosmosis 1. It is a smaller version of their larger Cosmosis reverb. Let's jump in and see what it does. Okay, so whether you're filling an opening on your existing pedal board or seeking out an incomparably cool verb to spatially expand your synth setup, this pedal, what does it do? Okay, yeah, so it says a downsized take on the original Cosmosis pedal. This one offers nearly the same spatial creative features, true hi-fi quality, but a smaller form factor. You can save 3 ambient soundscapes of any size from 3 space starting points. There's Theater, Temple, and Cosmos. So, you know, your traditional room, hall, cathedral. This takes it beyond that. It's pretty cool. So your controls are tone, blend, size. You have the space selector button, and then your preset selector button. So pretty cool, little compact pedal. $149. So that's fair. I mean, that's average price for a reverb pedal these days, unless you're, you know, getting into Strymon territory. So we won't spend too much time on that one. So Pigtronix Cosmosis. For some reason, I had that open in 3 different tabs. Before I miss it on my notes here too. So we talked about this last time, that Keeley had teased 2 new pedals. So they're at it again. They're posting these 2 enclosures that I shared pictures of last week. They're assembled, but they're blank. But they teased a photo of it. So who knows what that's going to be. There's a lot of speculation in the Keeley Facebook group that maybe it's going to be one of them might be a Caverns version 3. So that'd be kind of cool to see. I don't know. There's a lot of knobs on these things. And it looks like 3-way toggles on both of them, like multiple 3-way toggles. So we won't know for another week or 2, I'm sure. Maybe even longer. But they seem really excited for their 2025 releases already. Another one that I don't have a photo here on the computer. I saw it on Instagram or Threads or something. Mythos teased a photo of their next pedal. Now, I don't think they're going to be at NAMM. I think they're going to be at the Woodwire Volts event happening at the same time. So I don't think they have a booth this year. But it seems like this is probably going to be debuting at that event. They're teasing a pedal. It's a collab with that pedal show. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm sure it's going to be a fuzz or a drive or something. So it's pretty cool. No information really other than that. I just wanted to bring that up. Um, yeah. I don't know, I feel like I'm off today. It's weird doing this alone. Um, HJT Works out of Japan. They've actually got a giveaway going on right now, but it's only through Twitter or X or whatever. They aren't able to do it from Japan through Instagram. I don't know, some rules involved there where they're not able to. But the Dragon Head, now it looks like it's going to be a big muff. No surprise there. They do a lot of great drives and fuzzes and really high quality stuff. But yeah, it looks like the classic Ram's Head Big Muff, but you know, Japanese crafted, handcrafted. So import fees on this thing are pretty expensive. I don't know what the price is, but it seems like this one is set to ship out in February at the earliest. But yeah, everything they do, everything they make is just really high quality, good stuff. But yeah, made in Tokyo. Go to their website real quick, but I think their website is all in Japanese as far as like the ordering. Yeah, it looks like one of the only things that is in English on the homepage when you first click on it. It just tells you shipping fees will be added. You might have to face some import fees. But yeah, they do like Ventura Drive. They've got their take on a Klon over there as well, called the Bright Horse. Yeah, it looks like the pre-order is sold out on the Dragon Head. And then I'm not seeing American pricing on here. It just says 38,500 Japanese yen. Yeah, the rest of the post is all in Japanese. So, I don't know, cool pedal. You guys should check it out. At least, very least, look at this thing. It's beautiful. More audio. They got something coming out too. The GS1000 GS/GS1000 Li. So it looks like two versions. It's just an amp profiler. Yeah, looks like it's their. It almost looks like an HX, like a Helix or something. Description. Big description on this guy. Shenzhen, I can't talk. Shenzhen, China, 16th of January 2025. In 2025, Moore has announced that it will be set to release its latest multi-effects pedal, the GS1000 Intelligent Amp Profiling Processor. It's a long name. It's an augmented intelligent amp profiling processor built on Moore's advanced third-generation digital platform, the GS1000. Introduces groundbreaking MNRS 2.0 technology, allowing guitarists around the world to emulate their favorite gear with immense precision, specifically for distortion pedals, preamps, amplifier heads, and cabinets. That's pretty cool. The format on it looks very compact. And Moore, they make decent stuff. It's not, not the best around, but it's definitely not the worst. It's good entry-level stuff for sure. I don't know what the pricing on this is going to be. I don't know if the Moore website actually tells you the price. I think it's funny, though, that they have the GS1000, whereas Boss has the GT1000, or the GX1000, whatever it is. But yeah, pretty cool thing. Try to zoom in here. Yeah, so you do have the full suite of effects, even though it says distortions, amps, and cabinets and stuff. Yeah, I'm seeing right here, there's like EQ, there's shimmer, reverb, touch wah, all the stuff you would expect to see in an all-in-one processor. I want to see what the outputs on this thing look like. So that's on their website. There is no photo that shows just the back of the pedal. You get a slight view. It looks like you have one XLR output. Probably has send and returns. It looks like two outputs. And then expression pedal input. There is no expression pedal built into this thing, which I would kind of expect to see. But, oh, there it is. There's the shot of the back. Okay, so you have dual outputs, effects loop, Oh, it's a microphone in, it's not an XLR out. Okay. So it does have phantom power built in. So you get expression in, guitar in, the mic in, USB, there's a MIDI in and out, headphone jack. So the only thing it doesn't have is an XLR output. Now the user interface on this thing looks pretty cool. In my opinion, it looks decent. It doesn't look like a junky, like I hate to say it, but something like Zoom. It looks better than that. 3-foot switches. Oh no, 4-foot switches. Sorry. It has something called the Groove Station built in, so I'm assuming that's like your drum and bass rhythm tracks. So not much else to say on that. I don't know what the price is on this thing, but I'm sure we'll see in the next week or two. Make sure I'm not missing anything. You know, Mad Professor, they teased something this week. It was a red pedal, and it said on, I think it was Instagram or Facebook or something, said things just get better with age. So I'm not super familiar with their lineup. So there's some red pedal in their lineup or something, or maybe it's just something new coming out that is a new version of something they already have. Didn't do a whole lot of research into it because, you know, I've already got this giant list of stuff to go through. Okay, here you go. Secret Electronic Effects, or Electric Effects. So that's one of those pandemic era builders that came around. So Seeker put out, and all their stuff is handmade, new old stock parts and stuff. I believe they've done like point-to-point stuff before. But right here is the Tycho Octave Fuzz. Now, I forgot what the pricing on this thing was, and it's probably already sold out by now. But it's a cool, like, Octavia style fuzz circuit. But he posted on Instagram, this is 9 hours ago, as of right now. Thanks everyone for grabbing a Tycho Octave Fuzz yesterday. They'll be on the way to you now. I still have a few left in the store. Oh, there you go. Ready to ship this weekend. I'll be doing a live stream today around 2 p.m. Oh, missed that one. Where I play around with the Tycho a bit and can answer any questions you might have. Thanks again and hope you dig it. I'm going to check the email list right now because I'm on the newsletter. God, I think I want to say it's like $199, but I could be wrong. Seeker. Oh, it's from yesterday. Okay. Oh, gotta go to the website. Doesn't tell the price in the email. But yeah, if you guys haven't checked out his stuff, like, it's really cool. And that's Mike Timpson, is the owner of Seeker. Let's go to the shop. I don't even know what it'd be. Lineage series? Oh, you're right here. Tycho Octave Fuzz. It's probably gonna be sold at $225. Looks like it's still in stock though. So, first Lineage series release of 2025. It is based on the late 60s Tycobra Octavia, the most classic of all octave up effects. Tycho gives you the same bubbling harmonics in thick, stinging over octave up tones in a sleek modern package, but still build the old school way with through-hole construction and critical new old stock components. Each Tycho is built using 2 matched NOS germanium diodes coupled to a transformer on the output to give the octave up effect and thick saturation at a higher fuzz level. 2 controls for all you need, along with your guitars, volume controls, volume tone controls to dial in the octave effect. Boost control is your gain, which adds saturation and harmonic content, and this knob is increased. Volume is your overall level. Plenty of output on these fuzz tones. Cool. Yeah, just, you know, very boutique style handmade pedal. Small batch. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, if you guys haven't checked out Seeker yet, he's been doing great stuff for the last 5-6 years. A lot of releases, and I'm going to try to cover them as quickly as possible because it doesn't feel the same doing this show, you know, alone. So hopefully next week we'll be back up and running with both of us. Um, just so much stuff to cover. I'm actually almost done with the list already. So I'll slow down a little bit, talk about some stuff. All right, everybody, I do want to say, just real quick, we do appreciate around here everyone that takes the time out of their busy week to watch the podcast, listen to it on any of the other streaming platforms, the occasional, guitar or pedal video I put out, giving us support on those. We do really appreciate it. We're thinking about maybe starting a Patreon. We don't know how many people are really going to be interested in that. We don't know if we're going to have any really bonus features on there. I know like a lot of podcasts will offer, an ad-free version or something, or some sticker and pick, packs to send out to people. I know like 60 Cycle Hum is great about that. Others do like bonus content. I don't really know what other bonus content we could do because we already record for, an hour and a half every week. But if we do one, I just want everyone to know like that would help us fund keeping this project going. Because we don't want it to just be the podcast on our YouTube channel. We do want to be able to do new and exciting stuff and cover products. And we don't have sponsors right now. We don't really have affiliate links or anything like that set up. We're still, fairly new. We've only been doing this 5 months, I think. So as we continue to grow, any support that we get from the viewers and listeners, like that would really help us be able to buy a new pedal every now and again just to do a video about. And it would help us, eventually reach our goals when we hit like 1,000 subscribers. We'd ideally like to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 followers on Instagram, and then do a pretty decent sized giveaway. Whether that be something that we buy, that I demo on the channel or whatever, but we don't know the specifics yet, but we've got some ideas. So I just want to say, if you guys do support the channel, like we really do appreciate it. If you could, like the video if you actually do like it. Subscribe, that would be the biggest thing. We're almost to, as of right now, almost to 200 subscribers. And the analytics do show that the bulk of the people that watch, they're watching a good portion of each episode. They're not watching the whole thing. I don't expect them to. I know a lot of you guys probably watch it in segments because it is so long. I personally do that with podcasts. But it seems like a lot of first-time people come and they watch when they do come back, but they don't subscribe. So if you guys do watch and you appreciate what we do here, we would really, benefit from that. Just knowing that we're reaching our target audience, and we want anybody that's interested in guitars and pedals and anything. So moving on, we'll just move on from that. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. So Ernie Ball is back with the Music Man Sterling bass. Now this is not the Sterling series. That is like the the Squire or Epiphone to the larger analog, Music Man. So Sterling is to Music Man what Squire is to Fender. No, this is the bass is called Sterling. So I'm not familiar with this model. It's not the same as the regular, what do they call it, the Stingray. So it says, renowned for its slightly smaller body and neck profile, the Sterling 4-string bass boasts a big sound. 9-volt active 3-band EQ preamp, 3-position pickup, selector switch, and ceramic humbucker with hum-canceling phantom coil. Those come standard, equipping Sterling to cut through any mix. The optional addition of a pickup in the neck position adds even more versatility in this innovative bass. Delivers comfort, functionality, and the precision craftsmanship and attention to detail you've come to expect from Ernie Ball, Music Man. Yeah, it does look like a lot like the Stingray, with like the same kind of pickguard, but the body is a lot smaller. But that's crazy for one pickup to have, that big 4-band EQ, 3-band EQ in the volume switch, essentially. The pickup selector with a single humbucker, that's pretty interesting. They got a few different colors. Looks like the 4-string version you get vintage blue pearl or scarlet red. I think I personally probably go for that blue. Red and blue guitars, I've never really been a big fan of. But yeah, I think I'd rather go for that blue, but that red does look pretty nice. Yeah, a ceramic bass humbucker. That's pretty cool. There's some more details on here. It's 34-inch scale length. Bodywood just says select hardwoods, so I don't know if that's going to be a cheaper, like a particle board kind of thing. Not particle board, but you know what I'm talking, like pressed woods. Neck radius, okay, 11-inch neck radius on that thing, so pretty chunky boy. 22 frets. Neck width is 1.5 inches at the nut, and then 2.5 inches at the last fret. So that's not that bad. That's pretty thin. Neck finish is gunstock oil and hand rub special wax blend, which I think that's pretty common with Ernie Ball basses. Now they got videos and stuff on their website. What's the price? I hate it when the manufacturers don't put the price. Oh, we'll find it. Sterling bass. That can't be it. $3.99? No, that's the Music Man. See, it's confusing because there's Sterling by Music Man. So when you search it, that's the first result. I think it might be this $879. It's hard to tell. I don't see any prices listed for this exact one. I don't know. Oh, they still got the Joe Dart one available somewhere. So the Joe Dart one sold out in like a day or two, I think. There's a store that has one for $7.99. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. Catalinbread, back at it. I've noticed they've been discontinuing a lot of stuff the past like 4 or 5 months, maybe even longer. I don't know if that's just regular for their thing that I never noticed before doing this podcast. But it seems like they're always revolving, discontinuing, doing special runs, and then bringing in new stuff. So I did just drop my mouse. I'm going to bend down real quick. All right. So this new one is the Airstrip CB range discrete console preamp. So this is like a Fairfield style, console preamp. So think something similar, not same tonality or anything, but something similar to like the JHS color box, where that is a Neve style. This one's more of the Fairfield style. 4 knobs: push, filter, volume, and trim. So this is preamp based on the Trident A-range console, featuring rich cleans and, oh, maybe I was wrong. I thought it was a Fairfield. It says it's a Trident. I don't know what I'm talking about. Introducing the Catalinbread Airstrip. Let's see, I already just talked about that. Where are the details? There we go. So the Trident A-range console dominated the UK recording scene in the late 60s to early 80s. Now this thing looks like the Fairfield, though. I wonder if one is a clone of the other. So doing its part and how good it made things sound. The heart of the beast consists of a discrete germanium and a transformer-equipped preamp that can be adjusted to suit all tastes, from the tones of Lou Reed to the fuzzy freakouts of Frank Zappa, and of course, when pushed, console preamps distort, saturate, and heave, dripping with harmonics and other desirable tonal artifacts. Our airstrip distills the legendary tones in a stock box-sized console preamp with a handful of extras on offer. Discrete op amp based on the vintage UREI, I don't know what that is, design pushes the front end of the console into blissful gain if you want it. On the back end, a tasteful treble filter sets the luminosity of the pre to suit your rig, and specially selected transformer adds a touch of iron to the signal. Capable of every gain sound imaginable, from warm mastered cleans to gnarly claps and fuzz. Puts the mixing desk on your pedal board in a much more manageable package. Now, this is actually a pretty cool alternative to something, like I said, the color box. And they already got the usual suspects doing videos on it. You got Jay Leonard J. Looks like you got Andy Martin. A couple other people. $179, super fair, great price. for a console style preamp. Personally, like something like this is great at the beginning of your chain, as like a good preamp, or you put it after your drive pedals to like kind of wrangle them all in together, and get like a good final response before you go into like your modulation and delays. But it's also very good at the end of your signal if you're like going out to recording or out to a mixer or out to, you know, even if you're just doing your amp or just front of house or something like that. It makes a great last step before, you know, you hit amplification or recording. Because I'll do that all the time with the color box. It sounds great. So this one's a little weird to me. Morley, they have the Rex Brown Old Blue wah pedal. Now, the full name of the pedal is the Rex Brown Old Blue wah pedal, but Wonder Effects makes an overdrive or distortion called the Old Blue. I can't remember which one's the overdrive, which one's the distortion. Because they get the Red Rider, they got the Old Blue. I can't remember off the top, and they had the Wonder Drive for a while. Can't remember which one's which, off the top of my head. But I wonder how this is going to conflict with that, because, you know, this Old Blue is just part of this pedal's name, whereas the other one is called the Old Blue. But let's jump into what this thing is. I'm surprised people, this is not a criticism of Morley in any way, because they've kept true to their, you know, their design with their pedals. But I'm surprised a lot of people still use these because they take up so much space. They're very large pedals. Oh, it glows in the dark, it looks like. So whether weaving walking bass lines under Dimebag Darrell's frenetic solos or holding down the low end for Down, Kill Devil Hill, Crowbar, or Elegant Weapons, there's no mistaking Rex Brown. He's a true American original. Now, I just now learned by reading this who Rex Brown is. I didn't realize he was the bassist for Pantera. But yeah, I guess this is a recreation of his 90s era Morley Pro Series 2 wah, which he named Old Blue. Complete with the phase shifter-esque textures reminiscent of Morley's original 1970s pedals. That said, it brandishes plenty of modern Morley design staples, such as electro-optical operation and switchless activation, ensuring whisper-quiet performance and trouble-free deployment. You also get 15 decibels of wah level control, premium buffer circuit, and a rugged, cold-rolled steel housing and an LED indicator. And the treadle glows in the dark. Pretty cool. $179. Actually doesn't look super big in this image. I don't know. Every time I see a Morley, they just look massive. Yeah, cool wah. And a band like Pantera, like their signature sound is like that Dimebag wah, and I didn't realize that there was wah on the bass too. I'm not a super big fan, but you know, I'm sure this one will find its audience for sure. Pretty cool. Like I said, $179 is great for a Morley. And then Martin, they're refreshing their whole standard series. So they got new models coming out at NAMM. Well, they've announced them ahead of NAMM. So they get some new stuff coming out. What do they got? All right, so the standard series lineup brings subtle yet impactful refinements to enhance the look, tone, and playabilities of the iconic guitars, introducing 3 new models to the series: the D17, the 00017, the OM45. It seems like those are the new ones. What do they got? So one of the key updates is Sick to Spruce Golden Era top bracing, as featured on the Modern Deluxe series, which offers a more vintage, breathy tone with enhanced sustain. The GE modified low oval neck profile maintains popular shape, but is optimized for vintage appeal with minimal increase in total mass. Okay. So the D17, I know like the D18 is like a big deal, but the D17, I'm not really familiar if that's a brand new model. Bold new offering a refreshed standard series combining vintage inspired appointments with modern refinements, and you know, it looks very similar to the D18 to me, just slightly different. But it looks cool. So yeah, And then the 00017, that's more of that, what is that, like the jumbo style? Doesn't look too much different. And then the OM45, that's a little bit different. You got binding on that one. So that is more of like a classic style. Oh, and then there's another one, okay. The DE Retro Plus Mahogany. The OOOE Retro Plus Mahogany. Oh, looks like that's it. There's just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 models. Okay. I don't know. I love Martin. My grandfather was a big Martin guy. I'll do a video at some point on his. He didn't have a just standard Martin lineup. He had a Sigma, which was their budget-friendly import brand, and it's amazing. It's the I have it now. It's the DR41, which is just a Korean-made version of the D41. It plays and sounds exactly the same as the real thing, just like a third of the price. And it's early 2000s or late 90s model, I believe. It might even be a little older than that. Because it doesn't have the original Sigma logo on it. It has like the second version of it where it says Sigma by Martin. A lot of the early ones just said Sigma, I believe. And it was done the same exact way as the Martin scroll over the top. That's an amazing guitar. My friend Connor at one point had a Sigma when he was living in Alaska, and he loved that thing, but he had to leave it behind. So I don't know, a lot of these Martins, just everything they make is incredible. I've never played a bad Martin. I don't know about those, like they did those, they weren't like carbon fiber, but they had a budget lineup that I think they phased that out towards the middle of last year. But they were fairly cheap. They were like $399 at the time that I was looking at them. I think they were composite bodies or something. But I don't know if those were like more of like intended as a travel guitar. I really don't know. Or just a budget friendly thing that you could take it out by the campfire. You could play it outside. You could travel with it. I've got to be missing something on this list. Let's see. We talked about couple other things. Oh, I did my video, I think I told you about that, on the Player 2 Telecaster. So I think it's really cool. I'm really enjoying it so far. Right out of the box, it was really cool. Sweetwater, I got it from Sweetwater, and the inspection on it was, no defects or anything. It's just the pickups were a little bit low, so I'll raise those up. I did my video just straight out of the box. Pickups were great, fairly low output compared to some other Tele style guitars, but I might even eventually upgrade to like the Tex-Mex pickups that I have in my, I thought it was right next to me, in my Stratocaster. I might do the Tex-Mex style pickups, but no complaints for me. There's a little bit of a shielding issue with like intermittent, just like clicking sounds when you're strumming a little hard or something. I don't know if it's just some friction happening in the toggle switch or something. So overall, just a great guitar. I did happen to part ways with 2 of my Telecasters, my Squier Telecasters. I planned to sell them. The sale fell through with the buyer, unfortunately. And, well, actually, I guess somewhat fortunately for me. So I managed to trade them to Justice at Fuzzimp Effects, and we worked out a cool trade. So I sent him the 2 tellies. He sent me a couple pedals. It gives me more stuff to do on the channel, some more demo videos and stuff. So it'll be really cool. Other than that, I guess that's the only news I have. Usually this is the part of the show where me and Kat bounce things off each other here, but unfortunately, that's all I have for news on my end. So we did the Morley. We did the Martin. Okay, so here's some big ones right here. How did I miss these? So Walrus Audio. They dropped the Canvas Rehearsal, which is now on pre-order. They start shipping early February. $250. This thing is the latest addition to that canvas lineup. So they have power supplies, they have DI boxes, the tuner. I have the tuner myself on my board. I love that thing. Which I didn't need that tuner. I could have got any tuner. I could have got a Peterson. I could have got, a Polytune, whatever. I could have got the Boss TU 2 or 3, or even the Wazacraft. I got the Walrus one just for being able to put an image on it when it's turned off. I just wanted to be able to put a cool image on there. To me, that was worth the extra $20 or whatever on top of another pedal. I know it's stupid, but and people complain that it draws too much power because of features like that. But you do have strobe tuning. You can change the direction of the screen depending on if you have your pedal, angled on the board. You can even just set it, go through the settings, and have it just always on if you wanted to without muting your signal, which that's actually useful too, to be honest. But this new one, the Canvas Rehearsal. So it does everything I would want from something like this, except it doesn't have USB interface. I think that'd be just a really cool added feature to something like this, is to use it as an interface. Now, I used to bother Walrus Audio all the time because they would post, and I would comment on all their posts when they had to put out a new pedal. It's like, all right, but when are you guys putting out that Canvas interface? And finally, they were like, hey, we're not doing it. We have no plans. I'm like, too bad. Because something like a small DI box sized interface from them would be something you throw in your backpack on the go. I think that'd be really cool. But that's already a huge market for products like that. Anyway, so this thing is your all-in-one rehearsal tool designed for musicians who use effects pedals. You could listen to your instrument through the headphones, play with tracks via Bluetooth or 1/8-inch auxiliary input, and practice with a built-in metronome. Canvas Rehearsal is the perfect end-of-change solution when your gig requires you to practice to become perfection. It's loaded with features to simplify practice with maximum results. The OLED gives you quick readouts of beats per minute, time signature, beat division, accent note. Simply rotate the screen control encoder to fine-tune the settings, press down to cycle through the next parameter. BPM can be set through tap tempo. You can press and hold start and stop mode. You can dial in precise, tempo with the encoder. You can select the meter, tap division, and accent on the beat. So that's pretty cool. Flexible volume controls for your perfect mix. So it's cool, their demo video for this. It gave you a perfect example. If you're an on-the-go musician and you're playing gigs and you're staying in little hotels and stuff, you got to be able to still rehearse in between the shows. If you want to add a new song to the set list or something, obviously you're not going to be busting out an amp at 2 in the morning to try to get the song down before you have to play it the next day. So this is a good, solution for that. I don't see a lot of bedroom guitarists really using this for that purpose. But it's great for an ampless setup for sure. If you already have something like the ACS, whatever their amp and cap sim is, you can put this after that and just, use the Bluetooth to get your backing tracks and just practice silently at home. So different purposes for different people, and I think it's going to be a really versatile thing. $250 might sound a little steep to some people, but there's not a lot of other companies doing something like this. So, if you want, probably the best option is probably to go with one from Walrus. I mean, just the amount of features they pack into this thing. You could have 2 or 3 pedals to get you to this solution, or have a small Behringer mixer or something next to your board. It's inconvenient. So this thing really simplifies things. Then there's one more Walrus on this list. All right, so this last Walrus is the Chi Etherealizer. Now this is the Yvette Young, not really signature, but they call it a collaboration. So this is something that she teased a week or 2 ago, that she was asked when she was doing a rig rundown. They asked her, what would your signature pedal be? And she said, oh, it'd have to be like a chorus, but it has to be stereo and be able to like layer delay in with it and get like granular sounds. And they teased, a date, and then it came out this week. It is $449.99, so it's a very expensive pedal. But you get essentially, 4 effects in one. So let's jump into what this thing does. So for those that don't know, she is the guitarist for the band Covet. She does a lot of stuff on her own. Just a phenomenal guitar player. So this is, Walrus just keeps stepping their stuff up. I mean, two releases in the same week. This is pretty big. So known for her innovative and explorative fingerstyle playing technique, love of guitar pedals, and leadership of the math rock band Covet, the Chi reflects her approach to creating lush, evolving soundscapes, named after the vital life energy that flows through all living things. The Chi is designed to deliver rich textures, expansive atmospheres, and dynamic layers. By blending her artistic vision with cutting-edge design, it opens up the door to immersive, otherworldly sounds. Now, it says it lets you mix and match the chorus, delay, and grain and run into a series of parallels to create your own inspiring universe of possibility in a stereo field. With the ability to save presets and bypass the chorus, delay, and grain controls, you can quickly, instantly change settings by simultaneously pressing the bypass, free stop switches. Go from a traditional chorus with a little bit of delay, go all in and let the Chi take over unexplainable washes of glitchy and lush ambience. Whatever your style is, it gives it a new life. So you have groundbreaking, proprietarily designed platform called MDSP. So it's new. Designed in-house by our talented engineering team, MDSP sets new benchmark for high-fidelity audio and innovative sound design, delivering decades of inspiration to creators seeking practical, forward-thinking gear. So I'm sure a lot of what they're going to be doing moving forward is going to use the same processing. So we're going to see a lot of new, insane stuff coming from Walrus, I would expect, in 2025. The modular and mini approach empowers Walrus to push the boundaries of approach audio processing. The enhanced capabilities of MDSP allows for the development and execution of more sophisticated algorithms. Yeah, they're going to be just knocking out pedals all year long, I think. Just insane new stuff. Let's run through the controls real quick, because there's just so many controls. There's like 12 knobs on this thing. The space knob adds reverb. You got a tone knob, which controls the cutoff of a synth-style resonant low-pass filter. Series and parallel, and series effects will feed into each other. Parallel, you can kind of stack them independently. Mix and dry controls the amount of mix and dry. Grain controls, you have grain cloud, which triggers small samples of grains randomly from your playing, which gives you unpredictable yet charming glitchy texture. The X knob controls the length of time between the grains. And then phrase sample, this mode triggers your grains rhythmically from your playing. Initial peaks in your playing are detected and grains are played back at the starting of these peaks. So it gives it a little bit more consistency. And it also has 5 playback modes that dictate different ways that the grain samples are projected. So if you need to recall that same setting for a particular song, you can save it. So there's normal, there's double speed and 1 octave, there's half speed and down 1 octave, there's reverse playback, and there's randomized playback. Delay controls. The delay effect is a full, clean digital delay that offers repeats for up to 2 seconds. Use the time knob to control the time between, feedback to control the amount of delays, and tap an oscillator switch at the bottom right to control those functions. Subdivisions are quarter note, dotted eighth note, and regular eighth note, which is pretty common for most delays, but Walrus in particular, they make sure to always include those. Chorus has 2 modes, tri-chorus and stereo chorus. Bunch of other features. There's USB-C for firmware updates. There is a momentary grain freeze and momentary grain plus max reverb freeze. So that's pretty cool. So it's not just reverb and a delay and a chorus and a granular effect, it also lets you have that, phrase, what do they call that? Like the Electro-Harmonix freeze style effect built into it. So that's cool. So I can see how this is well worth the $450. But there's probably a significant learning curve in figuring out how to use this exactly. I'm sure a lot of synthesizer players are going to love this thing. But yeah, and you get two colors. You have black, which if I were to get one of these, that'd probably be the one I would go for. Is the black with the white or yellow text. I can't tell exactly. And then there is like the kind of like salmon color with, it looks like somebody being attacked by a bunch of chi flying into their body or out of their body. I can't tell. So that's a pretty cool one. And then I just have one more thing for you guys today. So this is going to be a little bit short. We won't have to go for the full hour and a half that we usually do. Oh, did I already lose the article? Huh. That is so weird. I lost the article I was looking at. So Dennis Fano, who currently has been operating Novo guitars and Revolta guitars. So he's back in charge, I guess, of Fano guitars. So they're moving the operation from Tempe, Arizona to Nashville, and they're going to be in the same facility as Novo. The quote here is that he felt like he had unfinished business since leaving Fano guitars. Now, after he left, I believe the company passed hands a couple times. But it's been in Arizona for the last few years. And kind of sad for me, being an Arizona guy. We don't have a huge amount of builders here. We've got a handful of pedal builders. We've got a few names. We've got, a couple good, well-known YouTube guitarists and stuff. And of course we have, famous musicians that live here. We got Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Jimmy Eat World, they're from here. They live here. Back when I was a pizza cook, I used to make Jim Atkins from Jimmy Eat World. I used to make his food order all the time. Stevie Nicks lived here at one point. We got Alice Cooper. He's a big one in Arizona. But as far as like guitar manufacturers that are like big names, this one sucks to be losing. But it's great for that company to be merging back with the original, founder of the company. So that's been huge news this week. So yeah, they're merging together under a new company called Psionic Design Lab. Based in Britain, Dennis Fano will take on the role of chairman and head of the product design. Fano launched Fano guitars in 2001, which grew into one of the biggest boutique and guitar brands on the market. He sold the company in 2009 to Premier Builders Guild, but stayed on the brand until he left to found Novo in 2014. A statement on the merger on social media says, iconic guitar brand, American guitar brands, Fano Guitars, Novo Guitars have announced that merger under new British-based parent company, Psionic Design Lab. Since their respective launches in 1996 and 2015, the brands have become globally recognized for their high-quality musical instruments. As part of the merger, Dennis Fano will take on the new role as chairman of Psionic Design Lab and head of product design. Over the past 9 years since leaving Fano Guitars, I have felt that there was unfinished business. While I've been focused on Novo guitars, I was hoping I could have the opportunity to reclaim my name someday. I'm excited to announce that today, that day is here. So Psionic Design Lab is bringing together the brands of Fano and Novo in a really exciting way. Fano has been in the very capable hands of Graham Dowling in my absence, and he has done an incredible job maintaining my high standards. I have an amazing team of people around me. Everyone is committed to making the highest quality instruments and continue to raise the bar. So I might have been incorrect in this. Maybe it did just sell from Fano to Graham Dowling, but I think he might have moved a couple times. But they've been based in Tempe, Arizona for a while now. So Graham Dowling, who has owned Fano guitars the last 8 years, will continue as the director of the Fano brand. Manufacturer will now move to Nashville from its current home in Arizona and expand a production facility alongside Novo. Psionic Design Lab's management will be led by Neil Reed, British media executive and former co-owner of Fano, as CEO, and Novo's Travis Tingley will take on the role of Chief Operating Officer, overseeing operations for both brands. A joint sales force will be led by Fano's Chad Hines for the U.S., and Novo's Steve Gray for international sales. Management team will be supported by Lamar McKay, ex-deputy CEO of BP PLC, and as a non-executive director. So it's a big merger. Like I said, just for being an Arizona guy, it's funny because like my wife and I, before we left Phoenix, we're still in Arizona, but before we left Phoenix, there is a big mega church called Christ Church of the Valley. They have a bunch of locations. And, you know, my wife, she was raised Catholic, and she just wanted to find a church that we could both go to. I myself, being non-religious my whole life, so we agreed to check out, you know, Christ Church of the Valley, and we were going pretty consistently before she got pregnant. And, you know, I would go just to see what these guys' pedal boards look like. But almost every single location of this church that we went to, because there were like 5 or 6 locations, every guitarist, every bassist, all were playing Fanos. Almost all of them. So for Arizona, I mean, that's been a pretty big deal for local guitarists, at least. I know they're well known all over the country, all over the world, but you know, it just seems like we're losing something special. But it's all good because we have great pedal builders, and you know, it's just the future is limitless. We do have a lot of local guitar builders as well. They're just not nearly as well known. So I don't know, that was kind of surprising to see that news. See if I have anything else for us today before we get out of here. If you're still around, if anybody's still around, I might just be talking to myself at this point. Honestly, I think I covered everything. That was like 20 plus things on here, I think, which might be a record for the show. Again, without having my partner to bounce things off with, it's been a little weird, but hoping she, you know, gets better soon. It's been kind of rough around here. She's going through a few different medical things right now. But yeah, again, if you guys like the episode, give us a comment. If you stuck around through the whole thing, we do appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, find us on Threads and Instagram. We just recently joined Threads. Bad Guitars Podcast, at Bad Guitars Podcast. Like I said earlier, we may join Patreon here pretty soon. We might get 2-3 people that contribute. We will put your name up in the credits or whatever. We don't really do credits, but we'll put your name somewhere. We'll mention you. We'll give you a shout out. As I see a lot of other, you know, channels do that. And we'll try to do something exclusive if we can. But yeah, you know, bit of a strange episode. This was episode 20. I don't even think I said that at the beginning. So we've actually made it 20 weeks in a row of doing the show, which unbelievable for me. So what is that? We're about pretty much 5 months in now. So it's been really cool watching this channel kind of grow slowly. We're about to hit 200 subscribers on YouTube. Haven't checked our numbers in the past week or two on the other platforms. I know we're doing pretty decent on Apple, I believe. You know, we're nothing compared to some of these guys that have been around for a long time, but like we're hitting decent numbers, I think, on some of these other like Spotify and stuff. Not where we want to be, but yeah, if you haven't subscribed over on whatever podcasting platform, even if you don't listen to us weekly, if you just want to give us that subscription, that'd be cool. Other than that, I mean, I think that's about it. It's pretty late at night here. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.